Do you have a leaky ceiling financial problem? Okay, hi everybody, it's Louie and welcome to Retirement with Louie. We're going to look at what New Retirement calls a leaky ceiling. Okay, the leaky ceiling stressors are issues that require action. You need to do something to fix the problem. The longer you ignore a leaky ceiling financial problem, the worse they get. Okay, these require proactive attention, and let's dive into some of the biggest problems retirees have in what we call the leaky ceiling. Here's number one: high interest debt. High interest debt, such as credit cards or payday loans, they accrue rapidly and they compound on the financial burden over time, and you just can't ignore it. So let's look at ways to fix high interest debt. Okay, number one, they say, is create a repayment plan by prioritizing high interest debt first. This is what Dave Ramsey calls the snowball approach. So if you have several credit cards, take the time to look at what are the higher interest rate cards and make your minimum payments on everything, but put all additional income into the highest charging interest rate. You can also, if you have a lot of debt, you can consider negotiation with creditors for lower interest rates. Of course, you would tell them you're good for the debt, you're having problems, but you really need the interest rate to be lowered to allow you to do a better job of paying them back. Let's look at what they call a guide to good debt and bad debt. Here we go. Okay. Debt is a concept that can be both daunting and confusing. Most people think of debt as either a necessary evil or something to be avoided at all costs. But everybody does get trapped in this from time to time. Why does it have such a bad reputation? Because it snowballs over time. According to Debt.org, Americans owe $986 billion on credit cards, surpassing the pre-pandemic high of $927 billion. We owe $11.92 trillion on mortgages, $1.55 trillion on vehicle loans, and $1.6 trillion on student loans. Yeah, we're a country of debtors, aren't we? But nearly $1 trillion of debt on credit cards. Let's not be one of those. So good debt can be taking out a loan with your financial institution or the government to boost your business and your earning potential. You can use a mortgage to acquire a reasonably priced home, and hopefully that will do well over time. If you need to buy a car, of course you might need a car loan. However, cars range tremendously in value. Going into debt on a luxury vehicle is just not a good idea if you're thinking forward to your retirement. And getting a home equity loan, borrowing against your home to do repairs and upgrades on your residence, is another example of pretty good debt. But don't go crazy with that, and look for those investments in your home that provide a return on your home equity. Okay, bad debt. Bad debt involves borrowing money for purchases that quickly lose value or do not generate income. Credit card debt accumulated from impulse shopping sprees or luxury vacation falls into this category. Bad debt drains your financial resources without providing any lasting benefits. Seemingly necessary debt. Too many people find themselves in a situation where they must take on debt. Unexpected things happen in life that cost money, and you have to turn to that credit card. Sometimes borrowing on the credit card is the only way to overcome these setbacks. And debt is how most people deal with unexpected expenses in life. But if you have spent some time building up a safety net, a cash fund, a certain amount of living expenses, 2, 3, 6 months of living expenses, you won't be as tempted to take out that plastic. Now let's talk about how to avoid it. A much better option than borrowing when disaster strikes is to be prepared for the unexpected. This is called the emergency fund, as I just mentioned. All right. How much emergency savings should you strive to have? Let's see what New Retirement recommends. An adequate emergency savings is the basic foundation of financial wellness. And of course, you have health issues and a job loss, etc. What are they recommending? Nearly a quarter of consumers have no savings set aside for emergencies. 39% have less than 1 month of cash available to take care of financial shock. Disadvantaged consumers, those that will be hurt the most in emergency, are the least likely to have emergency savings. And consumers with no emergency savings are the most likely to struggle. Having emergency savings better positions people to save for and invest for home ownership as well. And I'm not seeing a recommendation. Let's see, how much emergency savings do you need? If you're in your in your 20s to 30s, during this stage of life, it's advisable to aim for an emergency savings fund that covers at least 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. If you're in your 40s to 50s, these individuals should aim to have an emergency fund that covers 6 to 12 months worth of essential expenses. Now that is a pretty large fund, and that's the largest recommendation I have seen. And of course, by the time you're in your 40s and 50s, you have kids, you have a mortgage, so that would be a sizable emergency fund. Now, if you're 60 and beyond, like me, it becomes even more critical to have a robust emergency fund. Aiming for a minimum of 12 months worth of essential expenses is recommended. This is because unexpected healthcare expenses or market downturns can have a significant impact on retirees. So here they are alluding to the bucket strategy, which means that you really have to have a segment of your retirement savings kind of out of the stock market in fixed income investments like T-bills or CDs. And that can help you when you have a market downturn, so you're not drawing out of your 401k when the market is down, and keep you prepared to meet those unexpected expenses. Okay, why so much emergency savings in retirement? Emergency savings in retirement are necessary for you to enable you to bridge through multi-year downturns. Okay, I just touched on that. Let's go back to the article. And they talk about responsible borrowing. Only borrow when it's necessary. Evaluate whether the debt is essential need or an investment that will improve your financial situation in the long run. You guys remember your grandparents and maybe even your parents, for some of those that are older? They would have a coffee can, possibly. They would have a savings account, and they would not buy things until they had saved up the money. Now that seems almost impossible these days with the cost of goods and services and home repairs, etc., and home improvements going through the roof. But really consider saving up for those things you want the most. You won't be tempted to use that credit card if you set a rule of putting aside money for the things you want most. And in this case, it wouldn't be the top 10 things, it'd be the top 1 or 2 things, because you're going to pay it with cash. Borrow within your means. Consider your current financial situation and ensure the monthly payments fit comfortably within your budget. Avoid taking on debt that stretches your finances to the breaking point. All right, and the debt-to-income ratio is a financial measure that measures an individual's monthly debt payment to their monthly gross income. According to Investopedia, 43% is the highest debt-to-income ratio a borrower can have and still get qualified for a mortgage. Lenders prefer a debt-to-income ratio lower than 36. All right, if you're taking out a loan, you want a comparison shop. You want to monitor those lenders, and particularly credit cards, for when they have specials and ways to lower your interest rate, and regularly assess your debts. We like to look at our assets and our savings plans, our 401k plans, but how often do you look at your debt and rank how much you're paying in interest and whether that debt needs to be extinguished more quickly or you can live with it? If you have a 2% mortgage on your house, well, put that on autopilot and enjoy the positive arbitrage. But if you have a 29% credit card, well, you get the message. Borrow responsibly and limit your borrowing. make timely payments, and if you can, make extra payments. If you make the minimum payments on credit cards, I think you'd be paying that credit card off for decades to come. The minimum payment on a credit card is not engineered to help you. It's engineered to make you a slave of the system. All right, let's go on. And let's see. Retiring without... Okay, so here we go with number 2 of the, what do they call it? The leaky ceiling. Yeah, leaky ceilings. And the next one is retiring without a written, holistic financial plan. Transitioning into retirement without a comprehensive financial plan in place can lead to various pitfalls and uncertainties. Without a clear roadmap, retirees may face challenges such as outliving their savings, unexpected expenses, and inadequate income. Failing to have a plan leaves a retiree vulnerable to financial instability. So what's in that plan? Well, you can plan those things on newretirement.com using their free trial right now. And it's a 2-week free trial, and if you like it, which I do, I love it, I'm a customer, and I think it is just essential to planning out my retirement, which starts soon, and see where you fall in terms of meeting your goals, including not only your assets that you're investing, but also your liabilities. You can track your liabilities, and you can plan out how to pay them off and when to pay them off, and you can even assess tax consequences. This is what you can do in this very powerful retirement software, which I hope you will take a look at. All right, thank you guys for watching Retirement with Louie. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week on Sunday. Bye.